So we got this Hyundai Sonata, changing the AC pump. Actually got one that was defective, so we're going to go ahead and replace that real quick. And to get the belt off, basically you've got to take off these two covers. There's one cover here with one bolt here. There's one underneath here. I don't know if you can see that. And then there's one in the back. And then the one underneath just has two bolts here and here. So those things, you just take off the covers, take the wheel off, support the car on some jacks. And then what you've got here is your belt tensioner. You can see right there. It's so hard for me to do this in a video. You stick your ratchet in that little square hole there. See a little square hole right there? You can put your ratchet in there. Let's do that real quick. So I'm using a flex ratchet because then I can move the handle in and out. There's a lot of different types of ratchets. And you just, god dang, pull it over. It's easier if you put a pipe on the end of here to really give yourself some leverage, and then just slip the belt off. We'll do that real quick. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to try and get this camera situated here. How's that? Can you guys see me? I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to pry this over and then just take the belt off of one of the loops and then bring it down. So now the belt's all loose. You can see the whole belt's loose and the ratchet's still on it. And you can just grab your ratchet right now and pull it back out of that square hole. Right there. You see the square hole right in the center of the video. Alright, that's what those things are designed for. For your 3/8 ratchet like this. I'm using a wobbly one because it's easier to get in there. Alright, so if you look at your new compressor, you'll see on this one that it has how it's mounted in there. And you've got 4 bolts that are holding it in. So that's always sometimes a little bit easier to get that new one out, take a look at it. And then we notice there's the 2 covers here. We kind of want to leave those in place if we can. Maybe we'll loosen these. But we got to get these 4 bolts out of the old compressor. And then go ahead and set the new one in place. And of course, before you start the procedure, you want to make sure your Freon is completely emptied out of your car. Make sure you either have an evacuation station in place that will do that for you, or if you're totally non-environmentally conscious or in a place in the world that doesn't care about that, you can just let it out into the air. But you know, I'm not telling you to do that if you live in a place that doesn't allow that. If you live in a place that does, there are places in the world that they don't care. So, you know, however you deal with it, that's your issue. So the tools are relatively simple. You just need a 12mm wrench. And I'm not sure what size the top is. We'll wait till we get there. It's probably nothing difficult. So once you've gotten the 2 bolts come out of the top, 2 come out of the bottom. It's a lot easier from the top, guys. Then what we do is put a long extension so you don't bust your knuckles and a Allen socket to take it out of the unit versus taking it out of the side. Then you have to change that O-ring too.
Well, no,
so
I don't know. It's because I'm not holding it.
Just going to take it right off the unit, get one off, and then move the compressor over and get the other one off. So yeah, we just moved it over a little bit, got the second one loose. Now it should just be ready to come right out of there. It should just come right out the side, just like that. Alright, so then there's the old compressor. So we'll get the new one. You want to make sure your new one was full of oil. It should have PAG oil in it already. Typically they're normally put in there, but you won't want to double check that. And then remove these 2 things here. If you in this car, I think you can tip it in there without tipping it, or put it in there without tipping it. So if you can't, then leave these on and then take these out when it's in place, so that you don't dump the oil out of it. I'm not sure if the oil is in the cavities or actually in the reservoir in the compressor. They're all different. Some of them are different than others, so you don't want to dump the oil out of there. All right, so the hardest part on this job is actually going to be putting the lines back on.